administration will be inspired by a strong pursuit of excellence and unrelenting success. We will not forget our country. We will not forget our Constitution. And we will not forget our God. Can't do that.
In a message resonating with many of his supporters, President Trump declared that Americans' decline is over, proclaiming that his life was saved by God to make America great again. He vowed to reverse what he describes as years of betrayal, where Americans lost faith in their government, saw their wealth drained, and witnessed attacks on their democracy and freedom. With a renowned sense of purpose, President Trump pledged to restore the core values that have long defined the nation, including religious liberty, economic prosperity, and individual freedom. Let's see what he says.
My recent election is a mandate to completely and totally reverse a horrible betrayal and all of these many betrayals that have taken place, and to give the people back their faith, their wealth, their democracy, and indeed their freedom. From this moment on, America's decline is over. Our liberties and our nation's glorious destiny will no longer be denied, and we will immediately restore the integrity, competency, and loyalty of America's government. Over the past 8 years, I have been tested and challenged more than any president in our 250-year history, and I've learned a lot along the way. The journey to reclaim our republic has not been an easy one, that I can tell you. Those who wish to stop our cause have tried to take my freedom and indeed to take my life. Just a few months ago in a beautiful Pennsylvania field, an assassin's bullet ripped through my ear. But I felt then, and believe even more so now, that my life was saved for a reason. I was saved by God to make America great again.
President Trump has committed to building the strongest military the world has ever seen, emphasizing his role as both a peacemaker and unifier as part of this vision. He plans to announce reinstated service members who were discharged for refusing COVID-19 vaccines, citing the importance of supporting veterans and active duty personnel. President Trump stressed that these individuals should have not been penalized for their personal health choices, and their reinstatement will demonstrate his administration's unwavering dedication to the men and women who serve the country. Let's listen.
Like in 2017, we will again build the strongest military the world has ever seen. We will measure our success not only by the battles we win, but also by the wars that we end, and perhaps most importantly, the wars we never get into. My proudest legacy will be that of a peacemaker and unifier. That's what I want to be, a peacemaker and a unifier. I'm pleased to say that as of yesterday, one day before I assumed office, the hostages in the Middle East are coming back home to their families. Thank you. America will reclaim its rightful place as the greatest, most powerful, most respected nation on earth, inspiring the awe and admiration of the entire world. A short time from now, we are going to be changing the name of the Gulf of Mexico to the Gulf of America, and we will restore the name of a great president, William McKinley, to Mount McKinley, where it should be and where it belongs. President McKinley made our country very rich through tariffs and through talent. He was a natural businessman and gave Teddy Roosevelt the money for many of the great things he did, including the Panama Canal, which has foolishly been given to the country of Panama after the United States. The United States, I mean, think of this, spent more money than ever spent on a project before and lost 38,000 lives in the building of the Panama Canal. We have been treated very badly from this foolish gift that should have never been made, and Panama's promise to us has been broken. The purpose of our deal and the spirit of our treaty has been totally violated. American ships are being severely overcharged and not treated fairly in any way, shape, or form, and that includes the United States Navy. And above all, China is operating the Panama Canal, and we didn't give it to China, we gave it to Panama, and we're taking it back.
In a whirlwind of executive actions, President Donald Trump has launched his second term with a series of bold moves aimed at reshaping U.S. policy across various sectors. On his first day back in office, President Trump declared a national emergency at the southern border, facilitating the deployment of U.S. troops to address ongoing immigration challenges. He reinstated the Remain in Mexico policy, requiring asylum seekers to wait in Mexico while their claims are processed. President Trump also signed an executive order withdrawing the United States from the World Health Organization and Paris Climate Agreement, signalizing a shift in health and environmental policy. He declared a national emergency aimed to boost domestic energy production and reduce reliance on foreign sources. These measures have sparked a range of reaction, with supporters viewing them as a fulfillment of campaign promises and a return to conservative principles. Let's look.
Today I will sign a series of historic executive orders. With these actions, we will begin the complete restoration of America and the revolution of common sense. It's all about common sense. First, I will declare a national emergency at our southern border. All illegal entry will immediately be halted, and we will begin the process of returning millions and millions of criminal aliens back to the places from which they came. We will reinstate my Remain in Mexico policy. I will end the practice of catch and release. And I will send troops to the southern border to repel the disastrous invasion of our country. Under the orders I signed today, we will also be designating the cartels as foreign terrorist organizations. and by invoking the Alien Enemies Act of 1798, I will direct our government to use the full and immense power of federal and state law enforcement to eliminate the presence of all foreign gangs and criminal networks, bringing devastating crime to U.S. soil, including our cities and inner cities. As Commander-in-Chief, I have no higher responsibility than to defend our country from threats and invasions, and that is exactly what I am going to do. We will do it at a level that nobody's ever seen before. Next, I will direct all members of my cabinet to marshal the vast powers at their disposal to defeat what was record inflation and rapidly bring down costs and prices. The inflation crisis was caused by massive overspending and escalating energy prices, and that is why today I will also declare a national energy emergency. We will drill, baby, drill.
As President Trump embarks on this new term, the world watches closely to see how these policies will unfold and their impact on both domestic and international affairs. President Trump called for a revival of American energy dominance, outlining his plans to resume large-scale domestic oil drilling. He emphasized the need to roll back the policies associated with the Green New Deal, arguing that they have hindered economic growth and energy security. President Trump's strategy aims to reduce reliance on foreign energy sources while boosting job creation within the U.S. energy sector. Declaring a national emergency at the U.S.-Mexico border, Trump laid out his aggressive plan to tackle illegal immigration. As part of this strategy, he announced the designation of Mexican drug cartels as foreign terrorist organizations, giving his administration more legal tools to combat cartel activity and enhance border security. In a bid to reaffirm America Pride, Trump proposed remaining as a way to rename the Gulf of Mexico to the Gulf of America. The call for the renaming of Mount Denal back to formal title Mount McKinley. These symbolic changes, he argues, would serve as a reflection of America's heritage, the national identity, reinforcing the nation's history and pride in its achievements. We'll be right back with more news. Be sure to stay tuned. President Donald Trump has responded to remarks made by Bishop Marianna Edge Budd during the National Cathedral Prayer Service, where she urged compassion for transgender children and immigrant families. President Trump criticized the bishop's comments with a post on X as inappropriate for the setting, arguing that they introduce unnecessary political rhetoric into what should have been a unifying religious event. According to President Trump, a national prayer service meant to invoke blessings and unify the country should not be for the platform for political statements, especially on diverse social issues. One of President Trump's key grievances was that the bishop remarks failed to recognize the real pressing challenges the country faces, particularly the relation to immigration. President Trump pointed out that many immigrants crossing the border have committed violent crimes, and this critical issue was completely ignored by the bishop in her plea. In addition, President Trump called for an apology for Bishop Budd and her church, asserting that her speech detracted from the solemnity and purpose of the National Prayer Service. Former President Joe Biden's decision to grant a presumptive pardon to Dr. Anthony Fauci, among others, have sparked significant controversy. Fauci, who played a central role in shaping the U.S. response to COVID-19 pandemic, remains a highly polarized figure. While he has constantly defended his action, many Americans particularly criticize of his handling of the pandemic, arguing that his decision caused widespread confusion, economic hardship, and emotional distress. Shifting from guidelines on mask mandates to the impact of lockdowns, Fauci policies deeply affected individuals and families, leading many to question the effectiveness of his decision. His role in this national crisis has raised concerns about accountability, with critics insisting that a pardon suggests an attempt to shield him from responsibility. The need for pardon has deepened doubts about Fauci's conduct during the pandemic. If he is truly acted in the best interest of the American people, as he claims, why should he need a pardon? Instead of shielding him, there should be a comprehensive review of his actions, that the consequences they had on everyday Americans. Granting this pardon alongside with others also raises suspicion of political motivations, particularly as it comes at a time when the nation remains divided. This move can be seen as an effort to protect influential figures from future scrutiny, sometimes, and something that only serves to deepen public mistrust in leadership committed to accountability and transparency. We'll take a break, and we'll be right back.
Alpha TV, The Higher Life is here. Watch your favorite movies.
Hi, Dimitri.
Kiddie shows, live TV channels, and many more. Anywhere, anytime on your device, with a unique emphasis on faith-based and family-oriented programming. Alpha TV is the place which points you to the higher life. Gain access to myriads of language channels available to family, friends, and loved ones in their native tongue.
Avete mai sentito dei cristiani che pregano grazie Padre dopo che hanno pregato per aver risposto a queste preghiere mediante Gesù Cristo nostro Signore? Amen.
Get this amazing entertainment on the Love World App Store, the Google Play Store, and the Apple Store, and begin to live the higher life. Watch Alpha TV in just 4 easy steps. Step 1, select your package. Step 2, create your login details. Step 3, set up your payment. Step 4, start watching. It's simpler than you think, with more perks than you can imagine. Explore the latest news on LN24 International, Bible classics, language-specific stations, and so much more. Get Alpha TV. Watch now. The higher life is here.
Cecile Richards, the former president of Planned Parenthood and a passionate advocate for human rights and women's rights, passed away on Monday at the age of 67 after a battle with brain cancer. She was diagnosed in 2023. Richards, daughter of the late Texas Governor Ann Richards, was a prominent feminist and co-founded the Texas Freedom Network in 1996, a nonprofit focused on social justice. She served as the president of Planned Parenthood from 2006 to 2018, where she played a pivotal role in advocating for abortion rights and solidifying the organization's alignment with the Democratic Party. Richards was an outspoken voice after the overturning of Roe versus Wade in 2022, and reflected on her leadership, acknowledging the challenges and overcoming the political forces against reproductive health care. Her family shared the news of her passing, noting she died peacefully at home, surrounded by her loved ones. She strongly championed access to reproductive health care, including abortion rights, making her a polarizing figure in political and social debates. Her impact on women's health expanded services that included broader health care offering, but her leadership was over-focused by abortion advocacy. She faced a significant amount of scrutiny over government funding for Planned Parenthood. A rare winter storm has swept across the southern states, blanketing cities like Houston, New Orleans in snow and ice. While the Florida Panhandle braces for similar conditions, roads have become treacherous and several airports have suspended operations, causing significant travel disruptions for many in the warmer regions. Snow is an unusual and surprising sight, but the storm has also brought with it serious safety concerns as communities navigate hazardous conditions, although the weather is rare for cities like Houston and New Orleans. Local officials have advised residents to stay indoors and avoid travel unless absolutely necessary. Emergency